Hey yo, peace. What's happening? Just wanted to hop on and, you know, kind of go over a few things that's been happening in the media lately. You know, just checking out Facebook as well as a couple other places. But I recently did I called in to one of my favorite channels with my man Tim Osmond. You know, we had real good conversations. Know what I'm saying? Um, I want to let y'all check out some of the conversation that we were having. We were talking about, well, I was telling him about like a lot of things going on locally, like as far as the bridge fire and the Nazis on the bridge or the white supremacists, whomever they were. I don't think it was neither. But I'm gonna let y'all check out me and Tim conversation, and I'll get back to you with a little commentary in a second.
Infinite Plane Radio.
Travis Carter thinking out loud, Cincinnati.
Hey, good to hear from you again. It's been a little while.
Yeah, I was just checking out the show tonight, and I wanted to. I had been like, in the chat, like and everything, but I wanted to ask, had you heard like anything about what's been going on, like maybe like around this area, Cincinnati?
Not lately, although I mean Ohio is has been an epicenter of a lot of psyops with Trump and Vance, and just 42 miles from Butler. But no, what is happening there now?
Okay, recently we had where there were some white supremacists standing on an overpass, and they had weapons and signs or whatever. But it made like a lot of attention. It drew out like a couple groups here came to confront them and everything, and the police came out, all of that. But I had a couple questions because it didn't make sense to me. Okay, for one, most groups, like organizations, they're identifiable. You could pretty much tell who they are, or they'll claim wherever they're at. Like, if somebody does something in whatever city, if there's like a clash in whatever city, um, whatever organization will say, well, this was the so and so chapter of this supremacist group, whatever. You
Exactly.
could tell who it is. I don't know who these folks are. There
Yep.
isn't any information on it. And it's a lot going on, like around it, where the police had them on camera walking past before they got to the overpass, and it's just, I don't know. It to me, it screams psyop.
You know what? It sounds like a rent-a-mob. It says here. It says Ohio's home to 50 white extremist groups. Hate will not win here. Lincoln Heights. Okay, I have seen images of this. Residents in Cincinnati confront white supremacist demonstrators. And I find it unusual that they're all as unidentifiable as Antifa with the masks, the matching
Yeah.
Yep.
uniforms. It's like who's paying for their flags? And they're very well organized. It looks like for the most part, when I look at these individuals like Patriot Front
Mm-hmm.
and Proud Boys, and the Proud Boys leader was a federal informant. So I happen to think that these are all government plants and instigators. I don't think these are organic at all.
Right.
And that's the same thing I was thinking, because it's like, I'm gonna tell you, they they showed up out of nowhere. They showed up out of nowhere, and this happened like, they stood on the overpass or whatever,
and it drew some attention, and that's when the people from the neighborhood as well as other organizations. But my thing is now they're milking this out into something big. Now you got ministers coming together and they're having all kind of talks about, to me what it looks
Milking
like
the situation.
is
It's a money grab,
whatever this
attention
particular
war.
psyop was set up for. I can see where the so-called black ministers or whatever are
Capitalize.
using it to gain, television airtime. It's going to cost funding. It's going to bring attention here. It's it's just, man. I see so much happening like around here. Like, okay, here's another situation that we had recently. One of our major bridges
Talk about this bridge.
was burned. You can look it up. One of our major bridges was burned, and they caught and convicted 4 people. I think it was like 2 girls, 2 guys, 2 white girls, 2 white guys. And they said, they set this fire under the bridge or whatever. Tim, I'm telling you this. If you go and pull up that footage of the bridge and the fire, look, for
Hmm.
somebody's fire, you would have to have certain types of, you would have to have,
It
you're
aren't
not going
readily
to burn
available
this
to the
bridge
public.
with just some lighter fluid.
Now,
Right. Ain't
is
no
this the
lighter fluid
Daniel
going in.
Carter, the Big Mac Bridge?
Yes,
Okay, burned on
yes.
November 1st. November 1st is a major holiday. So May Day and November 1st are two of the major holidays on the pagan calendar. That's interesting. And yeah, something like that. You're like, this has got to be controlled demolition. This isn't just somebody with a little
Right.
fire shutting down this big thing.
And the thing is, when I saw it, like I said, I woke up that morning and I caught the news like early in the morning when it was going on and they were like showing it live. I'm looking at the flames jumping up around this bridge, and I'm like, what kind of accelerant or
Hmm.
whatever did they use? Because this isn't something that just civilians would have. And when you see the people and you look into the folks' backgrounds who did it, it's sketchy.
Interesting.
It's sketchy because it's like you have like 4 people that like how can I put it? Their backgrounds don't match what happened.
Hmm.
Okay, this reminds me. Do you remember in 2020 there were a series of 5G towers that were burning across the UK and America and Canada, and the news said conspiracy theorists were burning 5G towers. Well, they finally arrested somebody because nobody was taking credit for it. And it was like these two people, and all you saw were their mugshots. It weren't even mugshots. You saw their model profiles from Model Mayhem, which is the site where models register themselves. So you have these two
Mm-hmm.
supposed models burning 5G towers, but they have no footprints as conspiracy theorists. You can't
Right.
find them on social media. It's like they were just pulled out of a drawer. So if these characters don't add up, they're probably just actors or patsies, and it's some controlled demo. I had to look into this bridge thing, but the imagery looks a little psyopy.
Sketchy. So,
And that's
yeah.
the thing. It's like I've been noticing, like I said, I've just been noticing like a lot locally. But when I look at, like I said, with like listening to you as well as checking out a few other channels, just hearing what's going on around and looking at different perspectives, it's like all of this now is just one big Netflix feature.
Yep.
It's not even to where we have to go back and look at things and say, oh, well, this correlates with this or whatever. No, it's just laid out now.
Just
Yeah, it
flat out.
really is. We're no longer like conspiracy theorists trying to figure it out. We're actually studying something that we know now is engineered to be this way.
Yeah, we're analysts now.
Analysts.
Yeah, and
We're analysts.
that's what we're doing, and we're
Common
approaching
sense
this thing in a
analytics.
very methodical way, and we're able to make predictions consistently. And these alignments are beyond coincidence. It's beyond
Right.
cherry picking. It's intelligent design, but it's done by government controlled media. It's all
Mm-hmm.
co-opted. We live on planet Netflix.
Yeah, without a doubt. And something I was gonna ask you. Okay, with the ISS.
Hmm.
Now,
ISS space station,
I
the
was thinking
biggest
this.
hoax going on today.
Okay,
Check this out.
they've had to, maintain this whole psyop with it for the longest, and they've got to figure how to get it down. I was thinking like you would kind of wonder that the public would have by this point caught on to everything, but people for some reason still believe that this thing is up there. And even though, like you said, we've had reporters go up there, we've had all kind of stuff like that happen, but for some reason, cognitive dissonance, people just they still can't put it all together.
Cognitive
I was
dissonance.
thinking that I don't think they're gonna so much try to bring it down, like in the sense that we may think that they're gonna like crash it with. I think what they're gonna try to do is they're gonna first lead with maybe some type of movie,
Yep.
and what a movie's gonna show like something happening where they're gonna get the people off of the ISS, and then they're gonna use the ISS to maybe go. They're gonna find a way to get rid of it where it doesn't have to come to Earth. Maybe say it went into deep space,
Mm-hmm.
some type of asteroid, something we could never confirm here that
Like
they could just
always.
project in the sky
Right, right.
and
And well, they've done this recently with
just get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
they had this like space junk from Elon Musk, and they said that planes were being diverted, and it was viewed across Australia. So it wouldn't be hard for them to create the idea of this thing falling apart where we don't actually have any way to verify it.
Exactly.
See, and that's why I was thinking, like, at first I was thinking, okay, they're going to maybe bring something, they're going to like shoot something up and then make it appear as if it's coming down. I'm like, but why do all of that when you can
Exactly.
just they can lead with like some type of series, some type of movie, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they could, like I said,
Hoax it all.
predictive programming, have the public already kind of in the
Predictive
mind frame
programming.
for it. And then when they say something happens, they've already gotten everybody off of it, and then they're gonna say like you said, space junk, some type of
Right.
asteroid, whatever, hit it and destroyed it. And that way they won't even have to come up with like any type of story about it coming down to Earth or anything. They could get rid of it because they know how you gonna. Because it's like I've been telling people for the longest. It's like when they came up with this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
it's like this is like the difference between a phonograph and laser disc and like MP3. Like, you
MP3.
know what I'm saying? It's like everything has
Outdated.
changed. So it's like, how do you go back and you undo something that was primitive back then? Like how do you make somebody in the modern times believe something that was constructed when people didn't have certain things that we have right now, like the internet?
Right.
Like lose the telemetry data to the moon. I
Mm-hmm.
think that you have a point here. And I think what they're doing is they're disposing of a crime scene. They're,
17.5
they're, they're
thousand
covering up a
pounds.
massive fraud of hundreds of billions of dollars. How much money went into this fraud? And they're just going to incinerate the evidence just like that.
Right.
Yep, easiest way to do it.
Well, they claim that they drop all the used satellites at the place they call the pole of inaccessibility, which is
Mm-hmm.
like the
Yeah.
remotest place from habitation.
The point
It's
of
out in the middle of
Nemo.
the ocean. And coincidentally, that's where Jules Verne puts 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea,
Right.
and that's where H.P. Lovecraft claims that the old ones fell and that their
Mm-hmm.
dead city is at the bottom of the ocean there. But anyway, they always have it out of sight, out of mind.
Things you
Yeah,
can't
and
confirm.
it's like I said, I think right now, like I said, the easiest thing to do, rather than to go through spending all the money on trying to get like Elon to come up with some type of way to fake it or whatever, spending like a bunch of money that they don't have to.
Just fake it.
Just spend less money and give a little spin story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, if they just stop boosting it, because supposedly it stays up because it's given these periodic boosters from the supply
Right.
modules. If they stop doing that, it would go into decay and it would fall.
It will
But I think
fall.
the reason they want to do it is they want to make it fall somewhere safe, like in the middle of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, they're offering them 643, no, $843 million. But yeah, I think
Right.
it's all theater at this point. But he's asking to do it soon, and the public has been conditioned to expect it. And space junk wasn't really even a thing until like 5 years ago, and now everybody believes in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I thought about something I wanted to ask you. Um, with Elon, okay, you know that even though he's the big
Check this out.
figurehead, you know he doesn't have access to like any of his companies.
Mm-hmm.
Like as far as the real dealings of the companies, like the like highest boards of the companies
Elon Musk
or
has
certain
no high
access,
level
like as
clearance
far as
to any of his major
space,
companies.
SpaceX, Neuralink, all of that. He doesn't have like the like top tier access.
Yeah, I was
So
surprised. I
he
was surprised about that. That he doesn't
Mm,
have the security clearance when it comes to uh, the higher echelons of SpaceX. That
right.
makes me wonder: is he just a
right.
figurehead? Is
Yes.
he the front man for an
Okay.
organization?
Without a doubt.
Okay. What it made me think about was this. Remember, remember the interview with I think it was like a babysitter or something of his, like a nanny,
Mm-hmm.
and she talked about just how he was like as far as when he was younger, just how he got into things and just the type of things he did.
Right.
And she made a comment about was he Antichrist? And his mother laughed and said no, but he's making a way for the one who is.
Right.
Wow.
And what that just kind of put me in the mind of is that if Elon is being used as the figurehead, we know that it's a lot of big corporation figures that are running things in the back that
Mm-hmm.
a lot of folks will never know
Exactly.
because they keep a lot of those things just hidden in different companies that's buried in other companies that's buried in other companies, so you never really know who's doing what. But it's
Multi-layered
like
holding
I
companies.
believe that like all of that just kind of I don't know it just kind of correlated with me when she said that when I thought about when she said that and then just seeing how he's the like we said the figurehead to all of these different companies,
Mm-hmm.
these different companies that that have so much access
Elon is just
that
a
other people
figurehead, a
wouldn't.
major
It's
front
like
man.
he's still not the one that's actually running things.
Right.
Right. Right. And he's a pitchman for so much, from Neuralink to X to the space program itself. And the space program is a religious endeavor. You know, beyond that, I mean,
Yes.
he's, and I think it's also significant that X, the company X, I think that he, and I said this in 2017 in an article, I said that part of his characterization is Emperor Constantine, who had a vision of a glowing cross and then
Mm-hmm.
sought to unite the empire under it. And when Musk put the glowing X on the Twitter building, I said, this is him becoming
Mm.
Constantine, uniting
Right.
the empire under this sign, the Everything app. And uniting the empire, as in the agenda here is uniting all media in a singular world
Hmm.
view. And he's a
Mm-hmm.
huge part of that with the space
Worldview
program and
warfare.
with X.
Mm.
And I think that like a lot of it too that like we don't think a lot of is the fact that this man is standing next to Donald Trump,
Check this out.
the president. It's like as much as we pick fun and we make memes and we don't think much of it or we laugh, oh Donald Trump and Elon, it's really more serious than we know because you have two
Mm.
nuts two world stage nuts, like who can basically play with all of our lives through like our perception on the highest level.
Yeah, yeah, that's wild to think about. I mean, the fact that Musk was there with him 84 days after Trump was shot, and he's all part of this world stage theater. We have two magicians, two psyop
Hmm.
magicians on the world
Mm-hmm.
stage in the highest positions of power, and all the world is just reacting to them. And most of the world reacting aren't apprised of how these individuals are constructs of an entirely
Exactly.
different form of governance.
Mm-hmm.
It is yeah, it's easy to laugh at them and downplay it, but the truth of it is uh no, this is way more sophisticated than a couple of, goofballs
Right.
Oh,
or
did you see
meme
that?
lords.
I know what I wanted to ask you too. Did you see the video of Trump Gaza?
Yes, yes, that was pretty catchy.
Check this out.
You know,
Check this out.
you know what? Did you catch the dancers with the beards?
I didn't catch that, but what about it?
Yeah. He had okay, because you know they let AI do it. Some AI program do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the program keeps showing it keeps showing like Elon eating different stuff and everything, and it's showing Trump, on the beach and all of that. But there's a scene where it's showing like belly dancers,
Check this out.
but the belly dancers all have full beards. The
Bearded belly
transgender
dancer.
belly dancers.
I didn't catch that, but that's
And I
AI.
and
Okay.
you, and the thing is, I'm gonna tell you something. It's crazy because I don't think most people who looked at it, I don't think people even have even like looked at it for
Paid
real. But
attention. Y'all didn't
it's like
pay
I just
attention.
happened to catch it on another
Trump
channel.
had
Somebody else I was talking
transgender
about it,
belly dancers, AI
and
belly
I was like,
dancers on
wait a
the beach
minute,
for his new Trump Gaza
that's the
video.
reason I said we now have two nuts who can make. Okay, put it like this: Trump and Elon are making it seem like just them being together. This is like Saturday Night Live,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
but they're playing with the world through the world stage.
Right.
Yeah, that is bizarre. It says here, Trump's bizarre Gaza AI video interacting with bearded belly dancers and a golden balloon in the shape of Trump's head. Yeah, this is surreal.
I
The
told
world
you.
stage theater has turned surreal. AI is now part of the process, and it is a form of surrealism. And I don't know if it's intentional, but it certainly isn't helping the situation.
Not at
And
all.
we're
You know what
acclimated to
else
it.
I noticed too?
Yeah.
At the end of that video, there's a big giant gold Donald Trump
The golden
statue.
statues.
And I've just been noticing that there are a lot of different statues going up of different people. Everybody is getting golden statues,
Mm-hmm.
Didn't
just regular celebrities.
Okay, and I see the gold statue
Kid
here. In
Cudi.
fact, in that music video for One Eye Jack's song "Dawn of the New Day," I had a golden
Kid
Donald Trump
Cudi,
statue.
Drake.
Didn't Kid Cudi, is that his name? He had a 33-foot statue of himself. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if it was gold.
Yes, yes, he did, and Drake did too.
Right, right, right. Well, this is insane. I mean, this is really insane. This is surrealistic stuff. This AI is just so creepy. But yeah, this went extremely viral. And it's just funny how that didn't people didn't notice it. Like this is like we're so used to the stuff being so strange and so weird. It almost
We're
just gets
used
a pass.
to
It's
it.
like sensory overload.
Exactly. See, and
Mm-hmm.
that's exactly where I was going when I said that we now have two people sitting in the cockpit because Elon he just like, what I'm saying, invited himself or he got invited like along. And it's like, we're looking at, what, like I said, they've made themselves a meme because they know that the public perceives them as a meme. And with them being two actors, they're playing into it. and we're not taking it serious. Meanwhile, they're doing stuff like with different countries. They're like starting stuff with different countries, and doing other things. It's like it's wild how they can have you looking in one direction at something laughing while other matters are going on.
For the war.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's so unserious.
Art
They
of
make everything
war,
so unserious,
tricks of
but then we're
perception.
also we're supposed to take it very seriously. Like these two individuals are saving the world, and Musk is going to save us by taking us to Mars. So he's kind of a savior in that sense, protect us from global warming.
Right.
Have you noticed all the portals popping up in different advertising and different movies?
I haven't yet, but portals. No, go on.
Check
Okay,
this out.
like like the portals like in the movie Stargate.
Sure,
It's
sure.
like, okay, I've been seeing like Disney advertisements where they'll have like a little girl run through like a Stargate, and she'll have an adventure. But I've
Hmm.
also been seeing like in a lot of movies, like a lot of movies, a lot of series, or just just in different children's cartoons, everything. Everything now is talking about portals.
No, I haven't seen that, but that is interesting to note because whenever there's some big theme that's repeated, it means something. They're building towards something.
Hmm.
And for some time, I've noticed there's a lot of talk about wormholes. And I
Hmm.
wonder, are they going to start using Hyperloop to
Hyperloop.
simulate
Right.
space travel and perhaps incorporate the idea of portals that we've been educated on through entertainment to explain the fast transit to
From one
distant
side to the
planets?
next.
Because our
Hmm.
traditional way of
Yeah.
space travel is, oh, we got to go this route. It's going to take this many years, a
Right.
generational shift. But if you have a wormhole or a portal, yeah, you just go through it, just like in that movie They Live. You just go to Mars in a heartbeat.
Okay, what do you think about like all of the talk about like Tartaria and different and 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 there now being like a lot of it's all there have like always been discoveries of different like underground cities or whatever, but it's like right now that's like a real big talk,
Tartaria.
Yeah,
you know.
there's a lot of conjecture that is kind of misguided, but I
Hmm.
think there's something there overall in this theme. And the idea of like buried history is real. The question is, are we talking about
Mhm.
physically burying something with a flood, or are they
Mud
burying it with like a
floods.
mental mud flood, which is
Hmm.
what I think is happening every day anyway. But the idea that we have gone through a reset and our history's been completely distorted. Well, yeah, if we don't trust our news, if our news lies, and if history is lies agreed upon, as Napoleon said,
Right.
then it's pretty safe to say that the pattern that we see with media today has always existed. So we're
Hmm.
kind of like it's history fluid. It may as well be mud flooded.
True.
And you know what? And that's the same thing I was thinking. I was thinking that it's kind of a combination of both. I believe that of course, there was like a lot more going on before us being here, because, like I said, you could look at the structures of the different buildings and like cathedrals and the artwork and everything. So it's like, for me, it's more just common sense. It's like I don't know the whole story, but it's like I see enough to know that it's worth looking into.
Right.
But on the other side of it, like you said, not only has it been a physical covering of things, we've also always had, the church, we've had the education system, we've had our mainstream media, regardless of like what it was at the time, it was still mainstream media. So they were always still repurposing the story and making it something else.
Yes, it's a reoccurring theme, and it makes sense to me when I look at the symbolism of the reset, the idea of precession of ages and
Right.
destroying the old age, building back the new. The symbol of the
Hmm.
phoenix, it's revolutionary. And I think that the powers that be, who or whatever they are, have an MO. And the MO is maintaining a power disparity by keeping the people below the capstone level ignorant, And how do you do it? You periodically burn the books, you kill the
Mm.
intellectuals, you erase their
Fahrenheit
histories, you
451.
distort time and space, and you keep people discombobulated. And I think that is being done actively. I think it's always been done. So I think the Tartaria stuff, yeah, a lot of it gets misguided because they think they found evidence and they're, but whatever it is, I think the skepticism is definitely valid, and I am highly critical of our history, and I think it's important to keep in mind that we cannot take it on
Yeah,
faith. We have to be skeptical.
yeah. The thing is, I was thinking that it's like we know how this goes. It's like there's always truth. Yet I think that what they do is, like you said, they give us an overload
Mm.
because I always think back to when
Sensory
Clinton,
overload.
before the internet hit everybody's household, when Bill Clinton was saying that he didn't think it would be a good idea if they let if this goes through and we have a computer in every house. And
Was right.
he was right because now that we have a computer in every house, in every hand, now you can question everything, and it now makes it to where the once the once more unquestionable narrative, now you have nothing but questions because you have more access
Exactly.
to information.
Yes, and we're in this place where we have so much information, but we don't have context that
Right.
connects it to any sort of
Yes.
objective reality, so it's become irrelevant. Somebody can tell me, factually speaking, that Trump faked his assassination attempt, but if they can't ground that in objective reality, it means nothing.
Exactly.
If they can't explain to me the deeper
Right.
implications, and so the framework's not there. The sea of irrelevance is such a good way of explaining it.
See, and that's the reason I say it like just with them, they give us so much. It's like, like I said, it's not even at a point where we have to figure anything out. They put it right in our faces because if they keep putting so much in our faces, we see something Monday, we forget it like early Tuesday morning because something else
Yep.
has happened. And we won't take it serious anyway because it happens so much every day. Like you said, with the bearded ladies on the beach, most people didn't even catch it because it's something that we see every day. We're always watching memes or we're always seeing
So
things. So
used
it's
to it.
like now, your perception has been more guided toward just more of an acceptance, and it just rolls right past it. And
Mhm.
that's the way the information is. It's so much that comes. Some of it's good. A lot of it is a lot of BS, and it all gets mixed in together.
Mhm.
You have no filter.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. It's I call it. I say that like our age today is psychedelic. You don't need acid because what acid does, LSD, is it obliterates the ego filter, which limits the amount of information you take in, so you can have a coherent view of the world. But if you get rid of that filter, then you have the psychedelic experience. And I think that we've been inundated with so much information, so much media, so many images, and so much of it is just incoherent and surrealistic. It's like this. It's like almost an assault on our senses,
Right.
but I think it's designed to
Hmm.
dull our responses to things that are truly abnormal or truly irrational.
That's true.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, it's just I'm just looking at now. Like I said, we're getting hit with this whole information overload, and I think that that's what's like. It's kind of okay. I'll put it like this: this whole woke movement thing. I
Mhm.
think when they saw just with having access to the information, instead of trying to suppress information and suppress certain things, why not just hit people with just so much of it? Like I said, you have no discernment, and you hit people with a lot of BS and memes mixed in with it too.
Right.
A lot of clickbait. So it's like
Convolution.
now your reality. We now live in what I like to call a clickbait reality.
Clickbait reality.
it can be one thing 1 minute. 1 minute you're looking at drones flying over everywhere, and the next minute you're looking at fires going off in California, and the next minute it's like you're looking at weather patterns changing in a certain part of the country, and the next minute it's the Grammys, and
Right.
then you've basically forgotten about everything else.
Exactly.
Even things that were supposed to be big events, they got mixed in with stuff like the Grammys, Kendrick Lamar, and the halftime show, everything like that. All of this mixed in together. Your reality is now you pick and choose what's important to you. If
Yep.
Kendrick is more important than the fires, then hey, so be it.
Yeah, exactly. How is it even possible that we give equal time and attention to the Grammys as to this big tragedy? And then what determines
Right.
the value? And what determines the value is the media. They decide. They decide what. And one point I want to make here, because people who are critical of media skepticism will say, "Well, you guys are immersed in this stuff," and I say the difference is
We're
we're
analysts.
not reacting to all
Right.
this crazy stuff. We're responding to it,
Right.
and we're observing people reacting, but we're not the reactors here,
Exactly.
and so it doesn't affect us
Hmm.
negatively. But we're watching all these moral panics, we're watching hypes and fads and trends, and yeah, people are very reactive, and that is where they want you off base, reacting to every one of their provocations. Meanwhile, we're just observing the provocations and the provoked.
And something else I've noticed that it's been happening through like music. Now we have what they're calling the crash out culture.
Crash out.
That's where you have all of these uh the like TV shows with the girls fighting like baddies that started as the Bad Girls Club, and now you just have a bunch of different reality shows with like people fighting.
Yep.
What I'm what I liken that onto is this. It's not so much that we have a bunch of shows with women fighting, with like gay men fighting, with different other people fighting. People just see it as kind of like a minstrel show.
Check it
What
out.
I see it as is like an experiment as to see how far you can push people that you have contained within certain. They put these people in a house,
Yep.
and you come up with, you put a bunch of volatile people together. You drinking, intoxicated, and they also have like psychologists and stuff that are digging into these people's personal lives, and they bring stuff up on the show, so they start fighting. This is like an experiment in front of everybody, but people don't see the experiment. They're trying to drive people. If you can drive this contained house of people mad through misogynistic type of influences, as well as alcohol and the different disputes going on in the house, then
Mm-hmm.
what happens when you show this to a wider audience and you have these same type of people in society? Now it becomes like a mind virus.
Exactly.
You infect more people in society, and then you have, and like I said, you now have a never-ending supply of crash out people that want to come on TV and fight and do all types of things. It's because, like I said, like I see in the chat, somebody said it's like a whole dopamine reality.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. I started using the phrase digital crack dealers to describe channels
Right.
that are just feeding people a daily dose to get the clicks, to get the engagement, and nothing ever changes. Q Street, all the people into QAnon never organized to fight the New World Order. They
Yep.
just became addicted to the daily hit, the
Yep.
daily outrage, the daily connection, meme, or prophecy, but it never goes anywhere. They've been totally nullified.
Right.
Because you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. That's just like on Facebook. On Facebook, I've got like almost like 150,000 followers, and
Shout
I
out
get
to
most of that off of just um, resharing like reels. I'll give like a commentary on different things. Some of the stuff is just, most of it is just stuff that like trending. But the whole purpose is to get the conversation started so that I can start some discernment with people. And it's like the one thing I've noticed is this: when the whole conspiracy theorist thing, like when people started throwing all of us in the whole pot of being, conspiracy theorists, I pretty much ran with it for a while because I wanted to see just how far they could push this whole conspiracy theorist label before
Right.
they see that, some of us are different. Some of us don't believe everything, and we're not, like you said, out here reacting to it. Where
I'm not a conspiracy
we watch and
theorist.
we analyze and we talk
I'm a
about
critical thinker.
like discrepancies as well as questions. So it's not even a thing of that we're theorists to it. No, we analyze it. But what I
Common
think they've
sense
done is
analytics.
they've turned the rest of our society into like fake woke conspiracy theorists, as to where now this is an everyday term for the everyday person.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the main splits here. I noticed is that you've got the false awakening. So the woke are falsely awakened to
Mm-hmm.
what they see as the major system in the world that's suppressing them, and then the truthers are awakened to what they think is the deep state controlling everything. And both these versions are the fringe. If you really dig deep, you wake up, and this is your awakening. And neither of them are awake. They're just at a deeper level of propaganda. In fact, they're
Mm.
deeper into
Right.
the program.
Smith's Monday
And
night.
like I said, I think all of that was part of it. Is to if you pollute the waters, like I
Right.
said, when it was just a room full of us, tinfoil hatters, like it used to be just a room full of us, pretty much. Like folks, they didn't want to like really associate with us, so
Mm-hmm.
they knew who we were.
We were the
Now, what
outcasts.
you do, you open up all the floodgates, and you make it pretty much to where it's cool to question everything. Like you
Mm-hmm.
start making it, like I said, when they made this whole woke term and they started capitalizing off of it and making it mainstream, and they just put that label on the people because nobody ever called themselves woke, like
Right.
just in the sense of, yeah, I'm amongst a group of people who consider themselves woke. No, somebody just said it as like, man, look, everybody else sleep, man. The rest of us are woke to what's going on, or whatever. And people ran with it.
Ran
And
with
this
it.
is why I say they now have us in a situation where it's so convoluted and polluted out here that it's like the average person who believes all of the BS, like whatever they're told, as well as other the fake conspiracy theories and everything else, they think they're doing what me and you are doing.
Yes.
So nobody takes so it makes other people not take everything as serious. It makes us all sound cartoonish once again.
Mm.
Absolutely. And that's why I think what we've done and we have to continue to do is we've raised the bar. Like we're not the anti to whatever the mainstream promotes because that's what Trutherville has become. And I said we have to be anti the anti as well as anti the pro because anytime you take sides with that anti position, you're lumped in with
Right.
all these other people who don't exercise discernment on every issue.
Right.
So we have to separate what we're doing from all media. We are a
Right.
separate entity, a separate body, and that's really what this think tank has become. We are an oasis, separate from this area that's been totally oversaturated, like you said, by design. It's by design. It's to drown out any truth in a lot of misinformation and semi-truth.
Without a doubt, man. Like I said, I called in tonight because I thought about all the other times I called before, and it's like, man, you inspire me to go and just look deeper into like a lot of things and to just look at media in a different way. It's like,
Yeah. I wanted y'all to wanted y'all to check that out. That was me talking to my man Tim Osmond from Infinite Plane Radio. We were discussing some of the things that had gone on, like around Cincinnati, like the fire under the bridge, as well as the supremacists on the overpass. But what the main objective of the conversation, because we went into a lot of other things too. We made a lot of correlations with just things in society and dealing with like Trump and Elon. And I'm about to close out, but I just want to say this in closing, and we'll kind of pick up on this conversation next time. What I want to say is we have Donald Trump in office and he has Elon Musk on his side. Now, most of us look at that as just being, these dudes is like watching Saturday Night Live. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Two niggas clowning. You know, we don't take Donald Trump nor Elon Musk serious. That's all by design. That's the way that they have everything set up. They know that you don't take Donald Trump serious. You look at him cartoonish because he's an actor. He's been an actor. But Donald Trump has also been ingrained in worldwide politics for over 30 plus years. Know what I'm saying? Even when he wasn't president, y'all got to really think back. Like when he wasn't even president, when he wasn't even into said politics, when he was just a businessman, yet he was making appearances on a lot of major television shows. Like we used to see him on, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, where you had Carlton. Think about back in the day, Carlton idolized Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? The Donald. Carlton used to love Donald Trump. So this shows you how long they've been putting Trump in your face to get you ready for him. People like, oh man, you reaching. You don't think they put this actor in your face to get you comfortable? And then just so happened years later, you've been seeing him over time in television specials, movies, had his own TV show, run major businesses. He's been to the White House, shit, probably just as much as any other president, because he's been through several different presidencies. He's been at the White House. See, y'all don't realize Donald Trump done sat in on meetings with stuff that the average person shouldn't be able to sit in on. He shouldn't even know this stuff. And we're talking about pre-politics. Now you get Elon Musk with him. He teamed up with like Elon. Let's like fast forward to where we are now. Beyond when he was president the first time. First time he was president, it was more, most people in society, it was kind of like a fear-based thing. It's like, oh shit, Trump gone. Well, no, I'll take that back. The fear element came later on. At first, it was just kind of like, novelty. It was kind of novelty. But then once he got in, it's like, I don't even think most people pay too much attention to like Trump's first time in office, because most folks wanted him out so much and there was so much negative propaganda about him. They were playing the Hegelian dialectic with us, where it was like they gave us our heroes and they gave us our enemy. They made Donald Trump the American enemy, and then they gave us our hero. Well, in the progression of things, and in like hindsight, looking back, we never had any heroes. Everybody is a villain. It's just like when you watching that TV show, The Boys, where you had the superheroes, and they all got just regular nigga problems. Like and some of them are degenerates, but they have powers and they're in power. This is what you're kind of looking at when we see like our presidents laid out. We got a bunch of like, you know what I'm saying, shit, a bunch of degenerates. They don't know these old white dudes, you know what I'm saying? And a few handful of niggas they like throw in there that's like down with what these other dudes doing. And I think what's happened is even with our like esteemed black folks, the people that we revere, like the Maxine Waters and the folks like that, all of them in on it. All of them are cucks too for the system. Cause I'm gonna tell you something. And then I'm gonna get up out of here because I got a few other things I need to do, but we gonna go live again tomorrow. But look, check this out. I'm gonna just put this on y'all mind before I get up out of here. A lot of the black folks that we put on pedestals, like politicians, some of them make roughly 150,000 a year, roughly somewhere around there. How you make 150,000 a year and you've been on your job less than 5 years, but you got $9 million worth of like real estate and other shit, like, you know what I'm saying, cash and other things. I'm gonna tell you something. What we see going on is that our heroes, alleged y'all heroes, I ain't never trusted them niggas. But it's like a lot of the folks that people have put on a pedestal, all these black folks that's like, you know what I'm saying, esteemed and shit like that, you're finding out that everybody's on the same team. There is no Donald Trump in them. It's like everybody's on the same team, but they're all not being team players. If that makes any sense to you. It's just like if you have, for instance, it's like when you go to watch any type of sporting event, you'll see where you have your huddles and you know they come up with what particular play they're going to run for this, and it's like inside of those huddles sometimes are disagreements, you know, and you see the result of the disagreement when somebody goes to run some type of play and you know they didn't do something right, and then you can see the look on the quarterback's face or the look on the other player's face at somebody, and then you'll start to see some tension in the team. That's what all of this is. It's all one big tension game because everybody wants to get something out of it. Ain't nobody looking out for you. Ain't nobody looking out for us, honestly. It's us against them, just to put it blank. I mean, you know what I'm saying? To put it just as clear and as like concise as it can be put flat out, it's us against them. And when I say us against them, I mean, you can't have these political allegiances and think that they're going to stand over decades when they constantly have a changing of the guard. So you have a different person coming into office, even if you did have somebody in who had some type of honesty, some type of integrity about themselves, there's a changing of the guard constantly. So that person's going to get moved out if he's not going according to like plan. So I just want to tell y'all, man, stay diligent, pay attention to what's going on, man. Like, you ain't gotta watch the news like crazy because I don't like watching the news all like that for real, but just kind of stay up on things going on and surround you, little stuff, and watch a lot of sign. If you really want to know what's going on, like as far as with what they're doing when it comes to like technology, man, subscribe to some of these like technological newsletters. For real, you'll get a lot of good information because it's a lot of stuff we're gonna talk about. It's gonna probably blow y'all mind, man. Real talk. But Yo, I don't want to hold y'all up much longer because it's late, but I just wanted to hop on and, y'all know me. I'm liable to pop up at any time when I'm not blocked off of Facebook. But yo, it's your man, Honorable October 9, Art of Thinking Out Loud, Live, Common Sense Analytics. Y'all know me, man. I'm not guardrail. I'm not controlled. I'm not controlled opposition. I ain't on nobody team. It's like, it's just me, Cincinnati, most controversial. I catch up with y'all. Take